The story begins in the rugged hills of Sinaloa, Mexico, in the early 1990s. Los Sombras, translated as The Shadows, was born from the remnants of older cartels, a syndicate that understood not just violence, but business, politics, and technology. Unlike other gangs, Los Sombras built their empire not only on cocaine and heroin, but on fear, manipulation, and infiltration of government officials. Their motto was simple: power is not taken, it is bought, borrowed, or bled from the weak. Across the border, the FBI began noticing unusual drug seizures. Cocaine shipments were increasing in size, and dealers whispered of a new syndicate with terrifying reach. For the Bureau, this wasn't just another cartel. This was a shadow war waiting to explode. By 1998, Los Sombras controlled drug routes through Texas, Arizona, and California. Their leader, Alejandro El Fantasma Morales, was ruthless but charismatic. He bribed judges, police chiefs, and even politicians. One D agent described him as the kind of man who could offer you a drink with one hand while ordering your death with the other. The first real clash came when a young FBI informant, working deep inside the cartel, was found dead in Juarez, his body left as a message, mutilated and burned. The FBI knew then, Los Sombras weren't just another drug gang. They were declaring war. In 2000, the FBI created a joint task force with Homeland Security, and Mexican Federal Police. Their mission: dismantle Los Sombras. Leading the charge was Special Agent Rebecca Torres, a sharp, relentless investigator who had seen firsthand how cartels destroyed communities. Torres assembled a team of undercover agents, cyber specialists, and wiretap experts. For months, they intercepted cartel calls, tracked money laundering through banks in Miami, and slowly closed in. But Los Sombras were always 2 steps ahead. Informants inside the FBI leaked sensitive info. Raids failed. Agents died in ambushes. Somewhere in the shadows, corruption was eating away at the investigation. Every great war has betrayal. For the FBI, betrayal came in the form of Agent Daniel Cross, a respected veteran who secretly worked for Los Sombras. Cross sold intel, exposed safe houses, and fed the cartel FBI strategies. When a planned raid in El Paso ended with 6 agents dead, suspicion grew. Internal Affairs quietly launched a probe, while Torres began watching her own colleagues as closely as she watched the cartel. This wasn't just a cartel war, it was a war inside the FBI itself. Between 2000 and 2005, violence spiraled out of control. Los Sombras executed rival gangs in broad daylight, left bodies hanging from bridges, and flooded U.S. cities with cheap heroin. Entire communities in Texas and Arizona were gripped with fear. The FBI launched Operation Black Veil, a massive undercover mission. Agents posed as drug buyers, smugglers, and bankers. Slowly, they uncovered Morales' empire, a network of shell companies, offshore accounts, and politicians on his payroll. But the deeper they went, the bloodier it became. Undercover agents vanished. Informants were skinned alive. Los Sombras didn't just kill you or erased, your family erased, your legacy burned. In 2007, Agent Cross slipped. A cartel courier he met in secret was under FBI surveillance. Cross was exposed. Torres confronted him in an abandoned warehouse. "Why, Daniel? How much did they pay you to bury your own people?" she asked. Cross replied coldly, "It wasn't about the money. It was about power. The FBI plays checkers. Los Sombras play chess." Cross was arrested, but the damage was catastrophic. Years of operations compromised, dozens dead, and Morales still free. Technology became the FBI's weapon. By 2010, agents cracked the cartel's encrypted phone system. Wiretaps captured Morales ordering murders, arranging shipments, and bribing officials. But even with evidence, arresting him was near impossible. Morales was protected by an army of sicarios and politicians. He was a ghost in plain sight. El Fantasma. The FBI turned to desperation, embedding an undercover agent directly into Morales' financial wing. That agent was Jason Vega, a Cuban-American accountant who risked everything to pose as a cartel money launderer. Every empire has a weakness. For Morales, it was his family. Though ruthless, he adored his teenage daughter, Camila. FBI surveillance caught him visiting her private school in Mexico City under heavy guard. This vulnerability gave Torres an opening. Through Vega's access to bank accounts, the FBI froze millions. Morales grew paranoid, lashing out, executing lieutenants he suspected of betrayal. His empire began to fracture. In 2015, After nearly 20 years, the FBI launched Operation Iron Shadow. Dozens of raids hit Los Sombras across Mexico and the U.S. at dawn. Black Hawk helicopters thundered over Morales' mountain compound. Gunfire echoed for hours. Dozens died. Morales tried to escape through underground tunnels but was captured alive. When agents dragged him out, Torres whispered, "The shadows don't last forever." Morales was extradited to the U.S., sentenced to life without parole. Los Sombras fractured, but smaller splinter groups rose from its ashes. The FBI called it a victory, but Torres knew the truth. The drug war never ends. For every Morales, another waits in the shadows. The story of Los Sombras wasn't just about drugs. It was about greed, betrayal, and the cost of fighting monsters without becoming one yourself.